So in these videos, I relate a lot of things to Star Wars. In multiple videos, I'm doing that. So I was actually just watching this video, and he was talking about, the title of the video is what does masturbation do to a man? And in the video, it just, something clicked to me where he was explaining something about spiritual armor, and I said a very similar thing, saying, you know, giving in weakens your spiritual shield. And I don't know, for some reason when he said spiritual armor, like the first thing that came to my head was this, that I just wanted to share. So I wanted to relate it to Spider-Man now, actually. And the reason I create these analogies is just to make it a little more consumable. That's the main reason. So in Spider-Man Homecoming, where, you know, Peter goes and does his own thing, and then, you know, Tony gets mad and takes away the suit. So the analogy to me, what came to my head was, you know, when you're abstaining, you have the suit. You have the suit that Tony Stark gave you, you know? So you have a really good suit that has so many different gadgets and all these abilities, and not abilities, but like gadgets and things that it can do, and like sensors of, like, you could read people, you could read where somebody is, and you know what I mean? You could like see things better. It's a suit that helps you out. It helps you fight, you know, the battle. So, and then when Peter does something wrong, so it's like, you know, when you give in to lust, now Tony's like, all right, I'm gonna take the suit away now. So now you're left without the spiritual armor. You're left without that suit anymore. So you're still Spider-Man, but it's so much harder now because you don't have that armor anymore. You don't have that suit that helps you out so much. That suit that makes you stronger, faster, more you know, more information on the battle, which could be like, which could relate to your intuition. And I just feel like that's a very interesting analogy that just came to my head in a moment. And I was like, wow, that's a great way to put it. And then once you do the right thing again as Peter, so now you have to fight these lustful battles without your suit now. Your spiritual armor is now gone or weak. So now, like, you come across Lizard or you come across Electro, it's like, which could relate to, like, you're in a place where it's like very revealing people or whatever the case is, you know, you come across something and whatever, you know what I mean? An urge or whatever the case is. Now you don't have that suit. So it's almost like a losing cycle if you never have that suit, because then you keep doing it and then you still don't get the suit back because Tony's like, oh, you gave in again? You're still not getting the suit. You're not getting the suit until you don't give in, you know? So when you have that opportunity, that when you're ahead of the game in the sense of you're abstaining and now you have that suit, you have a little more strength, a little more discernment, and you have that strength. It's just so important to not give that away willingly, because having that suit that Tony Stark gives you will help you so much. It'll change everything, you know, and you need it sometimes. I've been there where, you know, of course I'm not perfect. So I've been there where I didn't have that spiritual armor, and then something that I know that if I had that spiritual armor, if I had that suit, that I could have beaten when I fought it, but I didn't have it. So I lost the fight, you know? And, you know, that you could get into that cycle like that. And that's why, you know, whenever you have that suit, it's important to keep it. Whenever you have that spiritual armor from God that he gives you, that you gain when you abstain for long enough, it is so important to keep that, because when you lose that, it becomes drastically harder. And one more thing, what Tony Stark says to Peter, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it at all. So you gotta be able to dig yourself out without the suit, and then you'll be granted the suit. See ya.